Kevin McCarthy is a people person, whether it's hanging out at Luigi's in Bakersfield,
Good seeing you again. Take care. Tell the family I said hi.
helping Republican colleagues campaign across the country, or taking the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Now that was a little cold.
Kevin McCarthy oozes happiness.
How are you? Good to see you.
It's a skill that's helped him get where he is today.
Kevin McCarthy is going to be the new House Majority Leader.
After just 8 years, he made it to Majority Leader faster than any congressman in history.
What a meteoric rise. I mean, what do? Do you just kind of scratch your head and go, really?
I get shocked just being able to get into the building.
McCarthy's ride has been an interesting one. He grew up in a family of Democrats, but became disenchanted in the 70s while listening to Jimmy Carter.
I was in elementary school or early junior high, and he put a sweater on and told me the best days of America were behind me, and I had to accept it and to turn my heater down.
Then along came Ronald Reagan's vision.
A Republican Party raising a banner of bold colors, no pale pastels.
McCarthy was sold, becoming a Reagan conservative.
He's a happy conservative.
Right.
And why is he happy? Because he knows the conservative values gives greater liberty to the individual.
And that's how McCarthy describes himself.
I believe in being a happy conservative. That you're happy because you know your policies will give people greater freedom, greater independence, right? But you have to explain that why your policy makes life better.
And that's what liberal Hispanic groups want him to do regarding his stance on immigration. Constant protests outside his office demand movement on comprehensive immigration reform.
You got to make it where there's legal immigration. And the system currently doesn't work well. But our borders are not secure. The president has given a false belief that someone can come here illegally and they'll just become a citizen. Well, that doesn't make society strong, never has.
McCarthy's plan for a strong society includes a jobs and energy agenda, which would include construction of the Keystone Pipeline and less environmental regulation.
They're too bureaucratic, they try to legislate, and they hold back. I mean, they have these shackles upon the growth of what we can actually create.
McCarthy knows a thing or two about creating growth. At just 19 years old, he opened his own deli after winning $5,000 in the lottery.
You learn a lot in a small business. Be the first to work, last to leave, and last to be paid.
He then sold the deli and used that money to put himself through college.
I don't come from an Ivy League school or anywhere else. The only way that I can do better than someone else, maybe they're better at something else, but they'll never beat me in work. The work habit that this place taught me is what I will apply myself harder. I will work harder at it.
As a high school tight end, he also learned another value, teamwork. His coach always told him the word team stands for together everyone achieves more.
Sometimes I take those same thoughts and theories and apply them in Congress, right? A lot of times people just want to be an individual, but if you really want to win at the end of the day, it's not about you just achieving something. Everybody could achieve more if they work together.
So how can he bring Tea Party conservatives and moderate Republicans together?
What's the key to building consensus? How do you do it in Congress, maybe in life? I mean, how do you do this?
Well, lots of times I find a lot of people just want to go in and say, this is the way you go. I think the first thing you have to do is listen. And to me, that's a little bit of wisdom.
McCarthy does ask one thing from his Republican colleagues.
I've always told the members as being a whip, you vote your conscience, you vote your district, just don't surprise me. I just want to know what's going to happen.
He works to avoid surprises by building relationships, whether it's in the gym, early morning bike rides, or even sending out handwritten thank you notes. But the relationship he values most of all is with his wife, Judy.
This position has been held by people before. It will be held by people after Kevin. So, you have to make the best of it, but that doesn't define who you are.
And what does that for Judy? She points straight to her faith and accepting Jesus Christ at 13.
It completely changed my life, and it defines who I am. I mean, you can't say faith without Judy because we're one and the same. I mean, it's absolutely who I am.
For the majority leader, however, outwardly expressing his faith wasn't a part of his Catholic family's lifestyle, but he found a way.
I had a friend down the street that had a junior high program at First Baptist Church. So I would get up in the morning on Sunday, my family's still sleeping, and I'd run down and I'd go to church with another family just because That's where I really learned to grow in Christ.
And he will need to stay grounded to avoid the pitfalls inside the Beltway.
You're determined that Washington is not going to corrupt you.
No. We're going to change Washington.
And he's determined to do it with a smile and firm determination, even if it takes some time.
And sometimes it's not fast enough. It's definitely not fast enough at times for me. But as long as that compass is pointed in the right direction and it's moving forward, I mean, you look at Ronald Reagan, that's the goal of what we would have. But you don't give up. You come back the next day for what you couldn't get the day before.
David Brody, CBN News, in Bakersfield, California.